Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We're back for the ESL India Premiership organized by Nordwind Gaming. This time around, we're here for Starter Cup number 2. It's the first round of the tournament. We're watching Rage for Ownage Gaming, or RFOG, going up against NOSD hashtag. Unfortunately, I don't know what the full form is of this NOSD team, but they're going to be on the Radiant. You've got RFOG on the Dire. I'm CloudX, and I'm going to be solo casting this one for you. It is a best of one, and one of these two teams will unfortunately be knocked out. All these teams in the Starter Cup, 188 I believe have signed up this time around, are fighting for a chance to make it through to the Challenger Cup number 1. That's going to be a LAN event with a significantly larger prize pool, and the top 4 from that LAN will then qualify for the Masters, aka the grand finale of the ESL India Premiership. It's 7 long months of action-packed Dota 2, CSGO, Hearthstone and Just Dance, and we're only at the beginning, and things have already gotten heated up as the winners of Starter Cup number 1, Beyond Infinity, have secured their slot alongside Team Accelerate for Dota 2. But enough about bygones, let bygones be bygones, as Rage for Ownage will start off with the most picked hero from the Manila Major. Getting under their belt, they've got themselves the Disruptor after banning out the Lifestealer and the Bristleback. So Lifestealer, a hero that really came on the forefront during the Major as well. And given that he only got minor nerfs in the recent balance patch, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, and it still does justify him being banned out. NOSD though, they're going with some very old school picks and bans here. They've opted to ban out the OD and the Phantom Assassin. I get that OD got a few tweaks this time around. The Arcane Orb intelligence steal lasts for a full minute now if I'm not mistaken. However, I'm not sure if he deserves a first ban here, especially with the PA. PA is a hero that I definitely don't think deserves a first ban, and then they've got themselves the Jakiro and the Invoker. So this is either some inexperience coming out or some next level meta being forged right here, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm willing to bet it's the former. Magnus can be banned out, so another hero that got a few tweaks in the recent patch. You know what, I'm actually going to open up the balance notes, the patch notes, sorry, so I can give you guys some better insights about what's going on in the Dota 2 world. I did quickly skim through the patch notes, but unfortunately I haven't had enough time to analyze each and every one of them. But we'll learn by doing. We'll watch as many matches as we can throughout the Starter Cup, and of course ESL Frankfurt, which is now coming up on the coming weekend. But yeah, alright, so there we go. Magnus, his Empower Cleave radius has been increased from 200 to 225, and his strength gain has been slightly increased from 2.75 to 9. So not the most impactful changes, I'd say. It's so every 5 levels is when he gets an additional bit of strength now, because it's 0.25. Actually, it's more than that, so it's very insignificant, not too much of a change. I guess the Empower Cleave does help him to bring some synergy with heroes like the Phantom Assassin and even the Alchemist occasionally. But it still doesn't do too much to make him a much better laner in the middle lane phase, and he's still one of those one-hit wonders sort of heroes where you get a big RP, your team follows it up, and yeah, you've got yourself a wombo combo team fight. But if you whiff that RP, you're basically running around doing nothing for the remainder of the team fight. RFOG though, they've got themselves the Void with the Disruptor, so that's a combo that I can completely get behind. The Bubble, aka the Chronosphere, with a Static Storm thrown on top of it, then the Kinetic Field to hold heroes in position a little longer. In theory, it's a very potent combo, I'd say, one that could shut down the Invoker quite efficiently as well. But they're gonna go ahead and ban out the Earth Spirit, so we've seen enough of Crit's Earth Spirit to know what it's capable of doing, and RFOG will ban it out, while the Slaughter will be slapped with their ban stick as well. So I believe Slaughter got a change as well in the patch. If I'm not mistaken, his movement speed was reduced. Slaughter, where are you, my friend? Oh, nope, looks like I was mistaken. Slaughter was okay, no, there we go. For some reason, it's not alphabetically placed. There's Storm Spirit, then there's 2 T's with the Templar Terrorblade, and then they put the Slaughter as changes. I guess it's just a mistake coming out from Valve on their page. But movement speed's been reduced by 5, 295 to 290, so it makes him a little more, I would say, squishy. Not squishy, that's not the right word. A little more susceptible to ganks in the offlane. But it's still, I mean, the real advantage of having the Slaughter is when you get that Blink Dagger and manage to find multiple hero crushes to start the team fight, and then have the sprint to get out of trouble's way as well. So that's where Slaughter really excels, and a 5 movement speed nerf to him is not going to do too much to alter his pick rate, I would say. Omni Knight will be the third pick up though on the side of NOSD. They've opted to ban out the Sand King, while the third pick now remains for Rage for Ownage Gaming. But I believe Omni Knight has had some pretty significant buffs. He got, well, his strength got increased now from 20 plus 2.65 per level to 22 plus 2.8. So makes him a little more tanky. He hits a little harder as well since strength is his primary attribute. But again, Omni Knight, it's very situational, and a diffusal blade just goes a long way in shutting him down. So I'm not sure if that is really the best way to go about it. Or rather, if they really wanted to pick up that Omni Knight, maybe they could have saved it for later. But they'll get themselves the Ancient Apparition now on the side of Rage for Ownage. So again, another spell that has a lot of synergy now with that Chronosphere. So the Ice Blast into the Chrono. In theory, again, two tools that can be used for pickoffs as soon as the Void hits 6. And then we're going to see an Axe getting picked up by NOSD. So that's the pure damage now coming out from the counter Helix. Axe in the off lane though. Now he's going to be going up against an Ancient Apparition and a Disruptor. Both range heroes with that Chilling Touch damage to amplify the hits on the Axe. Not to mention the Thunder Strike, which is magic damage, which works really well versus the Axe, who gets the bonus bit of armor from the call, or what is it? The Berserker's Call. My mistake. I was about to call it Battle Hunger. But unfortunately, Battle Hunger is his second spell, aka the damage over time one. But Timbersaw will be picked up, so clearly RFOG has been watching the Manila Major. Timber is another hero that has really come onto the circuit with a bang, I'd say. We've seen maybe running that mid Timbersaw, and on occasion we've seen Timbersaw being run to deal with the Alchemist at mid, or even a Dragon Knight perhaps. Is this going to be a mid Timbersaw though? Because, well, they do have options here. They could run this as an off-lane Void, in which case it should be a mid Timbersaw. Or alternatively, they could run Timbersaw on the off-lane and then play it as a carry core Void. Possibly with the Vanguard Radiance, or maybe even just the Diffusal Blade build that we've seen many carry Voids do in the past. Queen of Pain going to be the fifth and final ban. Anti-Mage will be eliminated from the pool by RFOG. We've got one pick on the board here in this best of one matchup. One of these two teams will be going home, and they don't want to make a poor move here by picking up the wrong hero. Rage for Ownage, they're looking for either a mid hero or a carry, I would say. Well, it's still very versatile. They could run, they need either a 1, 2 or a 3 position hero. Let's just leave it at that for now. And if they are going to pick up a mid to deal with the Invoker, the Wind Ranger has recently been buffed by OS Frog. Might be worthy to consider picking her up here. Or if they need a Diffusal Blade carrier, what do they really have as their options? I mean, the Void fits the bill perfectly at this point. But if they want to go greedy here, they could even pick up the Spectre as their fifth and final pick. Then they'll have that AoE pick-off potential with the Void moving around, getting that Chronosphere, followed up by the Ice Blast and a Haunt. As for NOSD, they've got a mid, they've got an offlaner in the form of that Axe. They are looking for a carry, I would say. It's actually surprising that the Beastmaster's been shown no love here. I feel like the Beastmaster is far from being nerfed into the ground. In fact, I don't think he was touched. Okay, he was touched. The Primal Roar damage has been reduced, but come on, Beastmaster. I mean, Primal Roar is great and all, but I think the main value that a Primal Roar adds is the straight stun that he gets really soon, as Beastmaster is one of those heroes that hits a quick level 6 in the jungle. And of course, the double bore, which helps him to zone out most off-lane supports. But now we'll see a Tinker as the final pick for RFOG, while Sven will be picked up by NOSD to round out their draft. So it is going to be an off-lane Timbersaw and a carry Void for Rage for Ownage Gaming. As for NOSD, standard stuff, off-lane Axe, mid Invoker, and core Sven. Well, for those of you just tuning in, I'm CloudX. You're watching the ESL India Premiership organized by Nordwind Gaming. And we're watching a round 1 match. This one is between NOSD hashtag and RFOG. Pretty certain that the hashtag comes before the word, not after. And of course, folks, let me throw out a shameless plug here. If you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to hit the follow button. And of course, tell your friends that Indian Dota 2 action takes place here on this stream every evening, 7 PM. And of course, followed by CSGO immediately after, and preceded by Hearthstone immediately before. So the schedule is 6 to 7 PM Hearthstone. You've got 7 to 8 PM Dota 2, and 8 to 9 PM CSGO. So tons of Indian and South Asian eSports action happening right here on the ESL India Premiership. Also, to give you guys a precursor of things to come in the Dota 2 competition at least, you've actually got some very high tier SEA teams signing up for the Premiership. So the tournament has caught the eye of some of Southeast Asia's teams. The Mongols, for those of you that remember the CS squad, their Dota 2 squad will be participating in this Starter Cup number 2. And the other big one is MVP Hot 6. I'm sure most of you have heard of MVP Phoenix, the team that's time and again shown that Korean Dota is best Dota. Well, their secondary team, Hot 6, will be playing in the bracket. So we will be watching some of their matches as well as the weeks progress. But for now, we're going to see an immediate smoke being popped here by RFOG as they'll be moving on the hunt, hoping to find a pick off at level 1, hoping to score that almighty first blood before picking up that bounty rune. But NOSD will give them none of that here. You've already got RFOG dropping down the observer ward towards the middle lane, so that middle lane should be fairly secure for the Tinker now. I don't think we should see any quick kills just yet. At bottom lane, you've got Trap City. He started with the Quelling Blade, so we will be seeing him looking to rack up that CS and eventually start stacking the Ancient Camp. I'd expect a 2-minute or a 4-minute observer sentry to be placed down here to start blocking the Ancients. As soon as they get wind of the Helm pick up on the Sven, they should consider dropping a ward. But a peaceful start here. You've got Sven picking up a bounty rune at bottom, and then Tinker picks up the bounty rune at top. So they've opted to give priority to the Sven as opposed to the Invoker here at the middle lane. NOSD. Now this Invoker is going to be playing from a little bit behind. Tinker will be able to get that bottle earlier on, given that he hasn't opted to pick up the salve immediately. And honestly, I feel like this is a matchup that the Tinker can do just fine in. If things start to get troublesome for him, he can always drop down that laser, get that blind onto the Invoker, which works really well while trying to steal CS, and also works well against the Cold Snap. But it is a dual lane at top, something that we didn't quite point out. Bingo and Jabba will be playing here on the Axe and the Jakiro respectively. They'll be going up against a straight up tri lane, I believe, with the Disruptor and the Ancient Apparition. Just a small step behind. But where are my manners, folks? Looks like I've forgotten to do the introductions for these two teams. NOSD on the Radiant side. Bingo will be playing the Axe. You've got Jabba playing the Jakiro. On the middle lane, it's NSD. On the Invoker. Bottom lane, you've got Afterlife. Oh, yeah, that's definitely not Empire Afterlife. On the Omni Knight, and you've got Trap City playing the Sven. On the dire side of the river, though, you've got Virus on the Timber. So he's getting a lot of EXP under his tier 1 tower. No pulls being pushed out here by the Radiant side. On the middle lane, you've got Mr. Lolly, who calls himself K-God. On the Tinker, you've got Casanova playing the Disruptor. Cannibal will be playing that Faceless Void, and Ancient Apparition is going to be handled by Intruder. So no first blood just yet. I expect it to be happening on either of these side lanes. I don't think that the middle lane really has the makings of a first blood, at least not without a rotation from the Disruptor or the Chikiro for that matter. But some very defensive lanes from NSOD hashtag here, I'd say. The bottom lane, I don't expect this Sven to be getting too much. It's Timbersaw versus a dual melee lane. And you've got to remember that the pure damage from Whirling Death, when he's next to the trees, will end up going straight through the repel as well. So the Sven can't be feeling too confident when trying to man fight versus the Timber, especially not up until the Sven has the God Strength online. And even when he does have it, they've just got the one stun in the form of the Stormhammer, which is really not enough to lock down a Timbersaw and his Timber Chain. I really don't see any way for this Timbersaw to be dying here. But who knows? Virus might just prove me wrong. I'm going to use this pause duration to give out some shoutouts on the stream. There are some familiar faces. As it is nice to see you guys tuning in time and again to watch Indian Dota. Although we do have a very small audience for Dota 2. It's a fairly loyal one, and I do respect you guys for it. Colossal Rumbler, shout out to you, my man. You've been here on almost every single stream from Starter Cup number 1. Nazo, what's up, my friend? I see Rohan Samal on the stream as well, adding to the chat. Keep it going, buddies. Indian Dota needs your support. Indian eSports needs your support, in fact. And you should be tuning in to most of these streams to support the upcoming teams. Well, while that's happening in India, on the global stage, you've got a whole lot of Dota 2 action coming up as well, with the ESL Frankfurt tournament coming up. That's going to be happening this coming weekend, and some of the top teams, including OG, Navi, Vega Squadron, actually making it through to the ESL main event as well. So there's going to be a lot of, I would say, good games to look forward to just before TI6, which of course is the big one, the World Cup for Indian Dota 2, or the World Cup for Dota 2 fans all over the world, not just Indian ones. I don't know about you guys, but every TI I try my very best to clear my schedule so that I can become one of those eSports watching bums over the course of a week. Just sit down, reset my whole room, turn all the monitors, set up a couple of speakers, get a bed, get like a lifetime supply of chips and biscuits and junk food and coke and whatnot, and just hunker down for the long run, watching almost every single match, every piece of production that the stream has to pop out. And God, I hope Sir Action Slacks makes it to the international this year. I would love to see some of his interviews, and I'd love to see Slacks being given the role of official memester at one of these tournaments. It would be so cool to just have Slacks given a camera, given a mic, and just let him loose, let him wild into the TI6 arena, talking to players, spectators, casters, and creating some awesome content. But Slacks will be at ESL 1 New York, sorry, not New York, ESL 1 Frankfurt. That is happening this weekend. We should see the memes, Jack. We should see some memes coming out this weekend. For this game, though, I feel like if Sven manages to get farmed up, there's almost no stopping him. Well, once he gets his BKB can afford to be delayed a bit because he does have the repel at his back. But that's only going to be an option up until the Void gets his Diffuser Blade, which I would assume he's going to get this game. On the side of RFOG, though, I wouldn't say that they've got a bad late game draft either. We know what a Force Tinker can be as the game progresses. That split push coming out from the March of Machines and the burst damage if he opts to go for a Dagon would be pretty darn nasty. And if you couple that up with the purge from the Void, Diffusal Blade does allow them to purge off Repel. That would make the Sven fairly susceptible to being bursted down by the Tinker. And of course, speaking of burst damage, you've always got the Timbersaw. I think the main factor here for RFOG is the fact that Timbersaw's got a truck ton of mobility with the Timber Chain, of course, and eventually he's going to get a Blink Dagger as well. While the lockdowns on the side of NSOD, they really don't have anything to go through the BKB, the Axe Call being the exception, I would say. So if the Timbersaw does opt to build a BKB this game, he's going to have free reign all over the battlefield, and the pure damage goes through every layer of security that the Omni Knight can add with the Guardian Angel and the Repel. And in hindsight now, it does feel like RFOG has made a very smart decision to get this Timbersaw for themselves. Reactive armor did get a buff recently as well. So the armor stacks per level and the HP stacks per level do increase as well. The maximum number of stacks, of course, remains the same at 20 max at level 4. But each stack now scales per level. So you'll get 1.6 per stack of reactive armor in terms of armor and HP regen. But yeah, I see you guys on the chat talking about the Hurricane Pikes. And I would love to see a Hurricane Pike being built up this game. Disruptor does seem like a viable option for it this game. As far as natural 4-staff builders go, I guess the Axe would fit into that category. We could see Bingo picking up a 4-staff after his Blink if he's going for mobility. Although a Blade Mail just seems like the best way to go for him this game after that Dagger. We spoke about the burst damage on the side of RFOG with the Tinker and the Timbersaw. The Blade Mail just works really well. Send the damage right back. But from what I understand, or from what I remember, the Blade Mail sends back magic damage, which means that he won't be able to capitalize on the fact that the Timbersaw dishes out pure damage. But this top lane does seem to be working for them a little bit now. Bingo's getting some CS, and he's managed to zone out Cannibal and Intruder a little bit. I'm actually surprised that RFOG is not playing more aggressively on this top lane. I feel like the Ancient Apparition's positioning is a little bit off in this area here. He should consider wrapping around, getting in on the side here, grouping up with the Disruptor where they pop a Chilling Touch, and continuously get those auto attacks off on Bingo. But for now, he's just using the Chilling Touch on himself. Occasionally not even using it at all. He's got 2 clarities for regen. For mana regen rather. And I feel like he's not doing justice to his hero and this dual range support combination. Oh, back at mid, let's have a look at how the CS charts are looking. You've got 10 on the Invoker, 9 on the Tinker. But the big factor here up against the Invoker is that Tinker's got 7 denies. So NSD is not getting as much as he would like out of this lane, and we will see him start to fall a little bit behind in terms of farm and EXP eventually. While at bottom lane, not a single hoot was given about this camp. It's not been blocked out. The Omni Knight should consider stacking and pulling this, because as things stand, the creep equilibrium is always in favor of the Dire in this lane, and Virus is just lapping up the EXP. He's already out-leveled both the melee heroes on this lane, and look at this. He knows how confident he's feeling here. He's going for the harass with the Timber Chain as well. He's got 2 points in it, and 2 points in the Whirling Death, which means that once he hits level 5, we could see a kill coming out here. In fact, Sven's even put the point into the cleave. That's going to push out the waves even more. This is some real inefficiency being displayed by NOSD. Oh, Cannibal continues to get his CS rolling as well. Bottom lane, there we go. This is what we were talking about. Virus is heavily out-leveling the Sven and the Omni Knight. He's going to be able to dish out a chunk of damage while getting back under his tier 1 tower. Look at this, in fact. He's so ballsy. He's just going for the energy booster straight off the bat. Not even picking up the boots of speed to begin with. So just the extra bit of mana before he finishes up those arcane boots. And he's also got a clarity potion running, so it'll be round 2 soon. And he doesn't even have to worry about the creeps being at his tower for the EXP. Once he's 6, pretty certain we're going to see first blood taking place here. But in the river, looks like I'm going to be proven wrong here. There's the glimpse, sending Bingo right back to where he came from. Sunstrike's going to come through. An attempted TP will be successful. He's out of there. Casanova dodges that one by a hair's breadth. I was questioning the duration on that TP, but clearly they didn't have enough damage. Counter Helix only procs when you actually hit Axe. And his auto attack damage, not the best, sitting at 56 at level 3. Well, Bingo's going to get the call off. He's going to get the Jakiro Ice Paw to follow it up, but that's a dead Axe. First blood into the Ancient Apparition's pocket here, as Intruder will walk away with a decent bit of money under his belt now. So there's the first blood. Again, proven wrong. Bottom lane, I expected Virus to be getting a kill here on this really messed up dual lane on the side of NOSD. So I'm getting some comments on the stream, on chat, that says Whirling Death pure damage does not go through immunity. I'm pretty certain it does. Well, since it's magical damage type, it won't when you do it without a tree around you. But pure damage pierces spell immunity. That's just the way pure damage works. Which means that if, in theory, you've got to repel the Sven and he gets hit by the Whirling Death next to the trees, it'll pierce through. And similarly for the Blade Mail, I'm going to have to check that up if it returns damage as magical or as... okay, looks like there's no mention of that, so... I guess that was just me speculating that it returns magic damage. Oh, memory serves me that Dota 1 used to have magic damage return. Either way, we'll find out eventually. Oh yeah, that's my mistake actually. Blade Mail now pierces spell immunity too, so that could possibly be pure damage return, or it's just, well, the same damage type that ignores magic magic immunity. Either way. Back to this game, you've got a scoreline of 1-0, no real action. Not your typical Asian Dota game that we're so used to seeing, where teams usually engage in this bloodbath sub 10 minutes. Mr. Lolly, how's his progress looking towards the Boots of Travels? He's actually doing, he's still keeping pace with the Invoker, but I feel like a gank from RFOG would just turn the tides heavily in favor of the Tinker here. He's actually opted to go for the max laser rocket build, so that's a very greedy Tinker coming out here. Opting to get no points in the march, and if that's been scouted out here by NOSD, they should be looking to punish it, killing off the Tinker time and again, preventing him from getting the early Boots of Travels. Would be a nice way to start things off here. Back at bottom, Timbersaw, he's up to level 7 now. He's got himself a soul ring, so still opting not to get the boots to start with. Well, at top, Cannibal. Yeah, there's no way to actually bring him down. He's got the time walk as well to shrug off some of the damage, but we do see 2 points in the liquid fire. Damage over time is the best way to deal with the backtrack from the time walk. Any damage source that does damage in excess of 5 seconds is basically great versus the Void, since he can only time walk 2 seconds of damage. Middle lane though, this is the rotation that we were talking about. With a laser rocket Tinker, they could find this kill very comfortably. In fact, oh, there's this ghost walk. Just barely used the sentry ward coming out a bit late, but will it be enough? No, it won't. He's even got the fairy fire, and he was out of range of the sentry vision as well. No real love lost there for NSD. He's got himself that salve as well, and he's getting himself closer and closer to... Oh, bottom lane, Virus. He's actually getting run down under his tier 1 tower. Trap City's gone in. There's the burst again. Another Timber Chain getting him through to the sidelines, and Virus will manage to find the kill. Afterlife's coming in for round 2, but clearly Virus, the victor in that skirmish, will walk away. I'm not entirely sure how they managed to bring him so low, but they seem to have done something right. Now he's got the Arcanes, gets a little bit of extra mana. Oh, the Timber Chain completely off point there. He's just unloading the barrel without actually looking where he's aiming. But that is enough to spook the Omni Knight under his tower. But again, Omni Knight's got plenty of mana regen, so he'll be able to come back for round 2 quickly. Do they have a glimpse here? They've got 2 points in the glimpse, but Invoker's out of range of it. He's going to be A-okay. Meanwhile, NOSD not willing to take the rest of this fight. Lying down, they'll walk in under cover of a smoke. The glimpse sends Bingo right back, but the call has connected. Jabba is going to get clipped by the Ice Pot. The liquid fires on him. The dual breath to follow it up, and with the cold snap and the Invoker coming in, they should get this kill quite comfortably. Got a Sunstrike, not invoked. The Deafening Blast been invoked, but with the Ice Blast and the Rockets, that might just be enough to send NSD to the grave. It's just a level 1 Ice Blast though, and the Frostbitten debuff will not be enough. So NSD will survive. Despite RFOG's best efforts, they will end up succumbing to the 3-man rotation from NOSD. But the rune's secured anyway. Lolly will find his bottle refilled, and he's getting close to a BOT despite having no points in the March of Machines. Heck, he's not even got a point in the Realm despite it being level 8, so this is a Tinker that should not go unpunished. Bingo. He's actually picked up the Ring of Health, so I'm thinking... Well, I'm actually thinking he's going for the Vanguard here, but I would love to see a Blink instead. Yeah, I would actually much rather see the Blink Tagger on Bingo here. I don't feel like that Vanguard build is going to benefit them too much. They need some form of direct initiation to catch out the Tinker, especially once he gets his Blink Tagger. He's going to be one slippery little sucker here, and locking onto him is going to be a very tall order. The Blink will make that order a little smaller, but Bingo won't go for the Vanguard. You usually get the Vanguard when you want to throw your axe at your enemies, but that works really well when you've got something like the Darks here to surge you up and send you running in. Or if you've got some other form of initiation, perhaps a Lion at your back, or Avenge with the swap to start things off. But of course the Vanguard has been buffed recently, which means it is a very tempting offer to pick up early on. But look at this, that Void's got 80 CS, and with that Chronosphere online maxed out Time Walk, they're looking to put it to use. NSD, he's going for the rune. He's going to be baited in here as well, and there's no harm in committing a Chronosphere for this one. In fact, they might not even need it, but they will. It will come at the cost of the Disruptor. If only he'd thrown down the Chronosphere. Pretty certain they'd have got that kill without losing the Disruptor either. Not the worst situation in the world. He's well, he didn't get the rune, but he did get the kill on the Disruptor before going out, and they know that the Chronosphere is on cooldown for a good 115 seconds, which means that NOSD Could consider getting aggressive themselves now. But they just don't have any tools to initiate at this point. You can't rely on your Sven to be coming in, because Sven's the one that needs to hunker down and farm now. He's probably gonna go finish up that helm and start stacking the ancients ASAP. But yeah, without his blink dagger as well, they're lacking another tool of initiation. But I'm not even sure if he goes for the dagger this game. He's up to finish up a bracer, which leads me to believe that he's going for the early drums. It's a sort of outdated build, I'd say, on the Sven, but who knows, I could just be looking to fight early. Wards have been replenished. Jabba will get himself a set of observers and sentries placed down on the side, and then the sentry from Casanova will find the D ward. So once again, NOSD left in the dark on this top lane, and they're unable to contest the D ward. Disruptor will be pleased with himself there. At mid, we're still waiting for the Midas to come out on this Invoker. It's a fairly late Midas, despite him having 1 kill, 1 death and 1 assist. His CS, not the best here, but it's at 13 minutes in. Tinker surprisingly low on CS, but he's got himself the Boots of Travels online now, and that'll help accelerate things a bit more. But without the March of the Machines, he's really not going to be able to put it to the best use. Casanova being run down now. They do have the Meteor invoked, not the Sunstrike. Well, a well-placed Sunstrike might have been the end of Casanova there. Although I'm not entirely sure. It's just 4 points in the exhort for now. So perhaps not. Timbersaw though, just having a ball of a time all the while here. He's actually started to fall a little bit behind in terms of net worth. But look at his EXP. He's on top of the tables right now. Level 11, level 2 Chakram coming online. And Virus is looking to make a play on the back of that. They've got the Chronosphere available as well. Getting a kill on this axe would delay that Blink Dagger some more. They'll start with the Ice Blast. Perfect Chronosphere. Catches out both along with the Ice Blast on 2. Bingo's down. And Jabba will follow suit. Time dilation, hoping to slow down a bit. And with the Kinetic Field and the Timber Saw chaining through, they'll find themselves a quick, clean execution on the top side. Well, at middle lane, the rotation from Afterlife will find absolutely nothing. Tinker, with the Boots of Travels now, will move himself bottom and continue to farm. He's now got 1 point in the March. But that's not nearly enough to start cleaning up creep waves. I hope to God he doesn't put the second point in rearm at level 11. He does not need the reduced cooldown on rearm at this moment. He needs more levels in the Mars to accelerate his farm. But this is a fighting Tinker at the moment. Maxed out homing missiles, maxed out lasers. He brings a lot of burst damage to the table. And that's the tool that they really need up against the Vanguard Axe at this point. Going forward, Lolly. Not going to be too bothered by this couple of auto attacks. He can always make a quick base trip and come right back, healed and healthy. While Virus, he's picked up another energy booster in addition to those arcane boots. Guessing a Bloodstone will be his item of choice. The Soul Ring would synergize with that as well. On top lane, Cannibal. He is going for the Diffusal Blade, so that'll help them deal with the Void. Or rather with the Omni Knight. Missed a kill, unfortunately. It looks like the Invoker finds one on the Tinker. So Tinker goes down, Invoker gets some money. Afterlife comes in with the Sentry Observer placed on the high ground. That was hella obvious. Good repel there from Afterlife actually. He drops down the repel to debuff the haste on Intruder. It was a good attempt, but not good enough clearly. They will not be able to find the kill. 2-man Ice Blast coming through at mid. While bottom lane Timbersaw finds a solo kill. Didn't see that coming. Sven goes down. God's Strength wasn't expended either. But this is RFOG rolling with the punches at the moment. On top lane, Bingo. Despite that death on him, he's getting close to his Blink Dagger now. 1500 gold in the bank. The Ancients are starting to get stacked up for the Sven as well. He's got 3. Okay, this is very unconventional. He's actually opted to max out the Stormhammer, which is not exactly what you want to do, given that the duration on the Stormhammer does not increase, or the stun duration on the Stormhammer rather does not increase. You'd rather just max out the Cleave and the Warcry, which is really what you need to deal with these Ancient stacks, and really what you need to start farming faster. It's a confused Sven. He's a fighting Sven with the Stormhammer, but he's going for the Echo Saber and not the Blink Dagger, which is a sort of farming item, I'd say. at this point. But NOSD, the rest of their team has made their intentions clear. They want to fight and make space for this Sven. As you'll have Jabba and Bingo moving up. They'll get the ice path on the Tinker, but without the blink dagger, they can't follow it up with the call. So Tinker will live to see another day. As Lolly, he's now got 2 points in the march. They'll get a few stacks in the jungle of their own as well. But bottom lane, with the Ancient Apparition coming in as well, they want to try and find another kill on this bottom duo. Sven gets the repel thrown on him, but that means that the Omni Knight has been left defenseless. Chakram thrown down, Timber Chain misses completely. Trap City, he's gonna get the stun off. That was a big misplay coming out from Virus, but he's got another Timber Chain to get him out to safety. Might not be quite safe yet. Gonna make a run for this. Afterlife taking quite the beating. Trap City as well, with no creeps to tank up that tier 1 tower damage. He needs to be very, very careful. Another Storm Hammer thrown down, and there's the burst damage coming out from a level 4 Storm Hammer. Not quite what the Timbersaw expected, as he does go down. That's a killing spree taken away by the Sven, which puts him right back in this game. And speaking of things that are going well for NOSD, they managed to find the blink dagger on the axe as well. So there's that initiation tool that we were talking about, but at the same time, Void finds a very early defusal blade on Cannibal, and that'll help to bring down any of those repelled heroes. Much of the machines getting leveled up as well, so no second point in rearm. Good move there by the Tinker. While his blink dagger still looks fairly far off. The laser rocket build not quite helping, as they aren't really able to find those fights that they much need right now. I feel like RFOG is not forcing the issue here. They've got a fairly large advantage going their way, but this is when their lineup should technically be poised to get more pickoffs. It looks like the Chronosphere is on cooldown as well, so it was expended elsewhere. Doesn't look like they found a kill on the back of that. We can see the graphs now starting to move slightly away from RFOG, and once the Sven cleans up on these stacks, we will definitely see RFOG falling behind and NOSD pulling ahead. Although I'm not sure he can do it with just 1 point in the Warcry. But he does have the Echo Saber to make his job a little easier. He's not stacking this efficiently though, again, missing out on the stack.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
Well, both teams just not putting their new items to use. Once you get the blink on the axe, that's usually when you pop a smoke and try and make a play. But they've just moved into the jungle instead. Tinker, he's taking a beating in the jungle, but that's just up against neutral creeps. He's getting close to his blink dagger now. Both teams just biding their time. Finally, we'll see the smoke being popped, but that might have been under a dire ward. Not entirely sure, but yeah, Timbersaw's got no clue that this is happening. They do have the blink. They'll get the call along with the blink. They need the cold snap to hold the Timbersaw in position. They'll follow that cold snap up with the ice path, the macro pyre, and everything but the kitchen sink thrown at that Timbersaw as the dunk will secure the kill. Now, Bingo, he's got that Vanguard, so he shouldn't be too peeved about Casanova throwing down a kinetic field and a Thunderstrike on him. And look at the alacrity damage. That is ridiculous. 2 hits and Casanova's moving back to base. With a cold snap, that would have been a dead one for sure. The comeback is starting to look real here. The Timbersaw was really starting to pull ahead, but he's got 2 deaths attributed to his name now. And Axe was the one to pick up the money for that as well, which will aid him to snowball a bit faster. Tinker, he's now got the blink dagger online, and he will start to defend these towers with everything he's got. The maxed out homing missiles will help him or aid his cause as well. Looks like the stack has been cleaned up. Trap City's up to 147 CS, and with that he's at 9,000 net worth. Slowly but surely he's creeping up to the Void, who by the way is going for an Echo Saber of his own. I highly doubt that's going to be a Bloodthorn. I feel like the Echo Saber is what he's looking for. But again, they're just not putting these items to use, I believe. They should be looking to put that Diffusal Blade to use and fighting every time Chronosphere is back online. So they're just content to sit and farm, and NOSD is starting to creep up to them. In fact, they'll start to pull ahead very soon. You've got a blink dagger coming off for the Sven now, some more initiation tools coming into their back pockets. as we're seeing 5 heroes grouping up for the Radiant here at mid. They do look like they want to make a play. This is just basics. Rule number 1 versus a Sven. You do not let him farm stacks. You do everything in your power to stop him from farming the stacks. Ward out the camps. Ward out the area around the camp so you can find a pick off while he's going to farm it. But no, RFOG, they made a grave mistake here. And one that could see them getting knocked out of this tournament if the Sven continues to farm like this. Meanwhile, Bingo, he's almost got that blade mail online. They'll also find the deny on this tier 1 tower bottom. Less money into the coffers of RFOG. They're wasting time now though. You've got 4 heroes just sitting around mid while the Tinker farms. The Void's doing nothing. Timbersaw, he's trying to farm at bottom lane, but he's really close to that Bloodstone. I believe he has it. He just needs to call out the recipe for himself now. But yeah, I still don't feel like RFOG is doing too fine of a job here. And NOSD, clearly they're farming more efficiently. They've got the Midas on the Invoker. He's opted to get a Blink Dagger of his own as well. So they're just playing the mobility game to try and kite around the Void. But that's where the Glimpse works really well. You blink away, you get glimpsed right back. And RFOG, they've bided their time long enough. Now they're looking to put that Chronosphere to use as they're moving towards the tier 1 at mid. They could find a 3-hero Chronosphere. Void thinking of jumping in, jumps in, gets 2 in the Chrono. Just 1 actually. Bingo, the only one in there. Afterlife gets silenced up. They've not brought down anyone just yet, but now they drop like flies as the Omni Knight Axe and Jakiro are down. Disrupt glimpses back the Invoker, who's in range of detection from that sentry. That's a dead Invoker. Sven trying to man fight his way through this, but he's been kited, stunned up with a cold feet, making it a triple kill for Virus. And there's the issue that needed to be forced. There's the advantage that RFOG had that they put to use, and Virus finds himself a few more kills. Unfortunately though, the Bloodstone was not complete by then, which means he doesn't have the Bloodstone charges for himself added up there on the back of that 5-man team wipe in favor of RFOG. Unfortunately, it looks like I can't find the fight recap anymore. Might have just clicked it in the middle of the fray, but we will have a look at the graphs. A steep dive downwards. RFOG getting an objective on the back of that as well. The tier 1 tower taken down. A stack camp of Ancients going to be stolen as well. And RFOG suddenly in the driver's seat here in game 1 of Starter Cup number 2. Timbersaw, he's looking for more, but Afterlife will repel himself and make a run for it. The slow from the Chakram not in effect when you're repelled up. Cannibal, not too worried about that ice spot clipping him, but Bingo could be looking for a kill here on Intruder. Looks like they won't find it. Void, he's still up on the crypt. Oh, he's gonna jump straight down as the axe blinks up on him. Ice Blast catches absolutely no one in there, but Timbersaw's still doing work on the front lines. Now he's hit with a Meteor Deafening Blast. Sven comes in with the God Strength, the Storm Hammer, cuts him off mid-Timber Chain. Void's coming in for round 2 with the Echo Saber. They're trying to hold Trap City in place. Static Storm, Kinetic Field connecting perfectly there, as Tinker will get the kill with the burst damage coming in from behind. Cannibal looking for more. The heat-seeking missiles doing work. Jabba, one heat-seeking missile away from death, but the Void will jump forward and get the kill instead. It's a double kill for Cannibal. Oh, Bingo, he's still stuck up on the cliff and can't blink down because of the Thunderstrike doing work. Tries to TP out. That's going to be unsuccessful as well, as the Void jumps up on him and gets himself a triple kill. Another 4-for-0 wipe. Well, it was a 4-for-1 wipe. Looks like Timbersaw went down. Losing a few Bloodstone charges there, but the damage has been done. The cores on the side of NOSD have fallen, all barring the Invoker. Tumbled like a house of cards, and Cannibal, he's now getting the Chronos. He does have the Chronosphere online if he wants to make a play here, but he's going to have to time walk some of the damage before he thinks about it. Ice Plus is coming through. It will not connect. He'll get the Chronosphere off on 2 anyway. Tinker's coming with the heat-seeking missiles from behind. Timbersaw with the Chakram and the Timber Chain. It will be able to secure another couple of kills. That's 2 more on the sidelines now for NOSD, as they'll be bearing their fangs at this tier 2 tower at top. RFOG just rolling with the punches and showing no signs of stopping now, as this game has suddenly taken a turn for the worse here for NOSD hashtag. I don't even know what the hell a hashtag is doing at the end of their name, but I'll go with the flow. Well, let's do a quick item check on what's coming up next. Some shiny new toys here on the side of RFOG. We do see Intruder building towards his Aghanim Scepter. He's got 2 out of 4 components already picked up. And Tinker He's opted to pick up the Ether Lens, so he's just being a nuisance and a crowd controller or a space creator in this game. Not opting to go for the Bloodstone straight at the bat. But speaking of Bloodstones, Virus got himself a couple of charges up there, bringing him up to 10 Bloodstone charges now. Meanwhile, on the Radiant, Sven's trying really hard to get himself that BKB with the Ogre Club pickup. But he's getting kited really hard, and up until he gets the BKB, I expect him to continue getting kited. Once he does get the BKB, I'd expect him to be the priority target as far as Chronospheres go. RFOG grouping up. They'll pop another smoke. This one wasn't scouted out, and they know that as well, given that they did have a sentry wall placed down there. The smoke, though, being used to claim an objective, aka Roshan. While they now have vision here with this observer ward, so they know that their rush attempt is not being contested. The ward will be dewarded, but it's done its work. Your watch has ended, observer ward. Roshan will be secured on the back of the vision provided by it. And Cannibal should be the one to hold on to the Aegis, dropping down that poor man's shield into Casanova's inventory. What's Virus got up his sleeve now? He's got another 1,000 gold, and with that Staff of Wizardry and Ogre Club pickup, he's looking at an Aghanim Scepter of his own. I do feel like the BKB would have been the best choice here for him. They really don't need him to dish out the damage as much as they need him to be a nuisance in these fights. Just moving around, having free reign with that magic immunity versus the Stormhammer, I think would be a great way to approach the situation for him. But either way, Roshan's been secured. Casanova, he's got to know that there's a ward up there. He'll put down the sentry, and now he's going to find the D ward as well. Trap City's thinking of jumping in on him. But with the Timbersaw in the vicinity, it would have been a very bad idea. Textbook Dota coming out from RFOG. Tinker sitting in the tree lines, dropping down the cover fire with the March of the Machine spam, while the tier 2 tower gets taken down. The rest of the teammates jump in from Bingo. A premature one, I'd say. They got the call off, but a good Chronosphere behind. Catches 3. Ice Blast. Chakram as well. Follows it up, and with the rockets coming in from behind, Trap City's going to be falling next. 3 down. Make it 4 as the Axe is about to lose his life behind. He does get a kill off on the Timber, but it's a 5-man team wipe in exchange for just 1. In favor of RFOG. It's a triple kill for Tinker again, but no Bloodstone charges for the Timbersaw as he died before the fight concluded. But either way, they've still got the Aegis online for Cannibal, and they should be able to breach high ground with this. They don't really have heroes to dish out a lot of damage on these towers, but with 5 heroes dead on the side of NOSD, it's a no-brainer. You've got to go hit the tower when you get an opportunity. There's no fortification available either, and the Axe is not going to be online for another 18 seconds. He could buy back, but buying back alone might not be the best choice. And with that, the first tier 3 tower of this game will be taken down. RFOG clearly in the lead now. They've got themselves a 14,000 net worth lead and a 15,000 EXP lead. The defense being mounted, but the melee Raxes have been taken down as well. That was a slow and painful siege, which eventually works out for them. Now you've got them playing from 1 Rax behind. NOSD glimpsed right back after blinking in for that call. Dingo will not be happy with the way that fight's been going for him. Time and again we see him getting locked down there, either by a Chronosphere or a glimpse sending him back out of position. He just hasn't had an opportunity to lock down and get the call into the Blade Mill. And of course, without that, Trap City can't jump in with the God Strength to pound away. This is a desperate cry for his BKB, but oh, they're gonna go in here. Trap City clipped with the Ice Blast. Still not buffed by the Aghanim Scepter, but it's still enough to bring him down. Ancient Passion will get that kill for himself, while the rest of NOSD are on the run. You've got the Axe falling down as well behind. Ancient Passion with a double kill there. Cannibal jumps forward. Chronosphere almost dropped onto 2 there, but Afterlife, he's even gonna pop the Guardian Angel just for himself. Diffusal charges no longer available. Cannibal not gonna go down. He'll try and walk off the damage from the Meteor. It's a triple kill for the support Ancient Apparition, and by God, he's gonna have that Aghanim Scepter online by now. Another objective claimed. Tier 2 taken down. The bottom lane's pushing in as well with the Mega Creeps, or the melee Mega Creeps at least, or Super Melee Creeps. That's what they called. Pushing in. You've got the tier 3 at mid taking some chip damage from Carty here. RFOG is ready for round 2. Ice Blast flying through. Do they have a follow-up for this? No, looks like that's just wishful thinking. They're hoping that they can get the Ice Blast and then follow it up with something, but with the blink on NSD, it's a little hard for them to get that one. They'll settle for a ranged Rax though at the bottom lane. So a bit more chip damage done upon the high ground. Top lane Bingo pushing out the waves, ensuring that their top side is safe at least. Now it's a big hole in the bottom side of the map, and we're slowly seeing NOSD start to lose their real estate in this game. RFOG looking extremely strong to take this. I don't want to count them out just yet though. NOSD, they've got that wombo combo possibility with the call into a 4-man or a 5-man Stormhammer. And with a cleave from the Sven and an Alacrity thrown on him from the Invoker, he could dish out oodles of damage. We shall see if that is going to be a possibility, because the smart thing for RFOG to do is to just split up and fight. Cannibal, what are you doing, my friend? You do have an Aegis, but this is a little too ballsy even for you. Single man Chronosphere on the Omni Knight. In fact, he even traps in his ally, aka the Tinker. Bingo, he's thinking of going in, but with the heat-seeking missiles coming out time and again, there's the blinking from the Sven, the Echo Saber hits coming out, but the miss from the blind of the laser will make sure that Sven doesn't hit at all. He's down for the count. Double kill for the Timber Saw. The Static Storm was thrown down perfectly as well, and Timber will now be the shepherd that herds NOSD into their fountain, while RFOG cleans up on the rest of the base. No, they're just looking to fountain dive. The throws could be real here. Wait for it, folks. If the Axe gets a good jump in here, they could find a comeback, but with the Mouth Spam coming through, Tinker will find another kill on the Jakiro. Bingo jumps forward, clip with the Ice Blast. That's a dead Axe, and possibly another one to fall will be NSD on the Invoker. Yep, that's a dead Invoker as well. Ice Blast too strong with the Aghanim Scepter. And with the double Chakram, they had enough burst damage. So just arm twisting NOSD into submission. They're not even willing to break the rest of the base, just making sure that they tap out of their own volition. It's a 5-man wipe in the fountain, and NOSD have called the GG. RFOG will progress through the ESL India Starter Cup number 2. NOSD will be going down here. Well, fret not though if you're an NOSD fan. You can always try again in Starter Cup 3. But I've got to say, this was a pretty good game to start off the day and to start off the competition. Do we need to end it? Oh god. Someone's cancelling the GG on their side. They're not willing to tap out just yet. Fake GG, folks. What on earth is going on? Okay, Invoker's disconnected. Fair enough, but I do think we can all agree that this game is done and over with. These guys, they're dying inside their own fountain now. That Ice Blast preventing them from regenning in there even. Oh, by the way guys, there's a Dota TV ticket that's now up for the ESL India Premiership. So if you can't watch on the stream, you're welcome to join in Dota TV. You can go to the watch tab and check under the professional tournament list. You'll find it right there, ESL India Cup. ESL India Premiership Starter Cup number 2. What is going on here? Someone is definitely cancelling the GG here. Someone's being a complete troll. And yeah, for those of you that are tracking the tournament, there's a lot of good teams in this one. Beyond Infinity has qualified, but Invisible Wings, the other Indian powerhouse team, will be attempting to make it through the brackets. As for the Southeast Asian teams, you've got Mongols and MVP Hot 6 joining along with Power Gaming and Team Envy as well. So the competition is getting heated up here for Dota 2. But if you're here for the CSGO though, stick around as this game ends. We should be moving forward with Ranjit taking you through the CSGO action for the day. Resident Sleeper, what is going on here guys? Why won't NOSD just tap out here? Unless the GG is bugged out. In which case we'll have to wait for RFOG to break every single building. Oh, that Ice Blast. That's going to be another dead 3 heroes. Okay, at least the Ancient's about to fall finally. Okay folks, an anticlimactic end to what was, I would say, a fine game. 9-40 the final score. That dive just went, the graph just went bungee jumping after a certain point there, with a 40,000 net worth and EXP lead to end this game. If you've enjoyed, of course, hit the follow button on twitch.tv/ESL India Premiership. You can find the Premiership on facebook.com/ESL India Premiership. If Twitter is your thing, you can follow them at Premiership_IND. And of course, if you've enjoyed my casting, I'm CloudX. You can follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at The Real CloudX. Till next time, guys, I'll see you around. But if you're a CSGO fan, stick around, as Ranjit will take you through the rest of the action.